Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name's John McDonald, and today we're going to make a design using this rather funky little sledge that I saw in one of these kind of shops where you can buy different bits and bobs, clothes, household stuff, and it was really good price. And I think it's quite fun. So rather than trying to make a sledge or make something Christmassy, we can use this to give us a Christmas design, which straight away you know it's Christmassy because it's a sledge. So what I want to do is I just want to put some floral foam up onto this section. I've got a little flat dish here. You could use a saucer or any type of tray. This is actually the kind of dish that you would get with Oasis or floral foam fitted in it, and tends to be used for event work or for funeral work. And you can keep these saucers because they're nice and low. So I've just soaked a bit of floral foam and we've added that there. So this is, I think, a third of a block. We don't need a huge amount of foam, but I'm just going to tape that in, and then we can look at sticking this here. Now, to hold that on there, I'm going to use a little bit of Oasis Fix, which is like a putty, and I just need to see where that's going to go. So it'll go there, and go there. So that's our base set. Now material wise, I've got some different foliages. I've got some ivy, a little bit of pine as well. So straight away this is going to make it feel wintry if you find some. I've also got what looks like holly, but it's actually an osmanthus, which is a kind of similar sort of a thing. It's not a holly as such, but it has the look. And for our colours, we're going to go with some really different sort of colours. I've still got a few dahlias. Now you might not be able to get dahlias at Christmas time, you might not want to use dahlias, but you can probably use carnations or chrysanthemums, roses, whatever flower you want to use as your preferred option. But I've got these, so I'm going to use these. So the first thing I want to do is really just put in some foliage to create our base for our flowers. So I'm looking at the sledge and just seeing how best to do this. And I think if we do a design that comes across the way, but we're not hiding the sledge, then that's probably the best way to do it. Now I do have a little offcut of zebra grass here. We can put that in. And I'm only putting this in really because it gives you a line. But you can put them in and make curls and that as well, so we could do that. It's not a problem. And I do have a little fatsia leaf. So you can really have fun making things for Christmas. It's a great excuse for adding some blingy bits, bringing out decorations you've maybe had every year. It's also a great excuse when you're in the shops and you see something, you think, I could use that. I could do something with that. And it's just about having a little bit of fun as well. So I'm really just highlighting that line by using these grasses. And that makes it more interesting for the eye. And then our little bit of holly we want really quite forward. And as you can see, we don't need a huge amount of foliage here. We don't need a huge amount of any particular thing. It's just some little bits. And even with these leaves, you could just use them as single leaves. They don't have to be on a stem. The good thing about holly, the pine, it's all long lasting. So you're able to make things like this in advance. You're also able to make them and enjoy them for a good long period. Right, so that's our base. We've got a nice selection of greenery that makes it interesting. And if you can just add one or two little bits of something different, it makes such a difference to just having commercial greenery, which does the job, but in some ways can look, it really looks commercial. So it's nice to just vamp it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our dahlias and create a bit of a line. Now I do like the buds as well, so we can keep them in. And we're just going to work a line down through our base. So what you want to do is you want to probably keep the bigger ones more to the centre. And smaller ones you can have to the edges and to the ends of the line as well. These are at the end of their season, so they're a little bit soft. Or some of the stems are a little bit more delicate than they would be in the middle of the summer. But you can see we've got quite a strong colour. Now, I do have these beautiful alstroemeria, and I would like to use them in it. They're quite big, so I want to take off a little bit of that foliage. But I think it's quite nice to use colours that are a bit different for Christmas. The expectation is that things are always going to be red, and yeah, that's nice. It's quite traditional. But we can zing it up a little bit with some unexpected colours. I do have a little touch of gypsohilia as well. So this can just be our little smattering of snow. So we've got a basic design, and it's okay, it's nice, but now we can have a little bit of fun and add one or two elements that are a little bit more interesting, a little bit fun. So I have some different baubles, and we can just actually place them in. If this is just for your own home, you can just sit them in. This one is made with polystyrene, so it's easy enough to skewer onto a wire, and I can easily cut that wire. And actually the mirrored ones are just fun, I think. And you can see there's little gaps, or there's a little gap up the top. That's not what I wanted to do. So we can go in that way. And just decide where you're going to put things. Sometimes Christmas baubles are a bit of a nightmare for knowing how to secure them in a design. You can put them on canes, you can put them on stems, that's fine. Sometimes they'll just sit in as well, which is even better. But what you might want to do with, say, like a piece like this, is you can actually just put it on a stem like that, and that'll hold it. But I would use maybe a dried stem, or a rose stem is better. And then we could even just put one at the base. I'm just going to turn this one round a little bit so that we see it better. And then we can add our other little sleigh below. So there you go, we've got a Christmas arrangement that's a little bit fun. It's nothing, It's nothing high fancy or flying in any way. It's just something that you can have in the house, enjoy. Just use bits that you have. So you could do this in a different colour scheme, you could use different flowers, but the idea is buy a prop that you basically shouts Christmas and then put it to use and enjoy it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's design. If you have, click here to subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.